Are we finally seeing the end of the Battle Royale phase that's been going on in the gaming industry for the past decade or so? That's what we're here to talk about today, as we now have some confirmed numbers, and I, for one, can only think that this is a good thing, and I'll give you my reasons why in this video. So we can see here as posted by Insider Gaming that the Battle Royale genre as a whole is showing a massive downtrend in playtime with a massive 20% drop. That's out of this world, and you might be thinking to yourself that you might not see that as a big drop, and that it's obvious that players will drop off over time. But let me give you a real world example. Let's imagine for a second that you're running a business and it's going well. You're seeing a massive sales year on year, but you're only a small business, so all of those big sales help you expand, and maybe other people try and replicate what you're doing. Over time, whatever your business is, it's going to start seeing a few less people come in, and over time, it will start becoming a little less exciting, and people will be less excited about your product as it becomes oversaturated by how much there is of the same product going around. Then all of a sudden, one year you notice a massive dip in your business, but not only for your business, but all the same businesses that copied you as well. 20% drop in anything for your business other than profit is a massive loss. And without bringing in new, fresh ideas, this is the type of thing that could happen to any business. So don't think this number is small. Remember, for these companies, if they lose, for an example, 270,000 people out of 1 million, well, that's 270,000 less people that might be buying their microtransactions. And that's why I want to say I actually think this is a good thing for the gaming industry as a whole. Fortnite was the first game in the industry to really turn microtransactions into the norm for pretty much every game out there. And I know they weren't the first to do it, but they were the first to really crack that market. And I'd argue the gaming industry has been much worse for it overall. Ever since Fortnite came out, we've seen a massive change up in the industry, with just about every company you can think of trying to break into the Battle Royale genre. Now let's really think about it for a second. We've seen Apex Legends by EA, we've seen Call of Duty introduce Warzone, and then we've seen EA try two separate battle royales with Battlefield, and we've seen what feels like hundreds more at this point. It might have just been the biggest oversaturation ever in the gaming market, but that's not the worst of it all. We've also seen the microtransactions model introduced into all these games I've just mentioned, even in their premium paid experiences away from the Battle Royale. Now, that might not have been that big of a problem if it wasn't like these games weren't leaving content out of the game to sell it to you later on. To me, that's been the worst thing that's ever happened to the gaming industry, at least for the past 10 years. Then we see companies like PlayStation go away from what they're known for, which is cinematic single player games, to try and replicate the live service model that Fortnite introduced. What has that done for Sony in the gaming industry? Well, first of all, people who loved PlayStation seem to be feeling fractured because PlayStation has tried to push live service games that nobody wants. And that's been the growing trend for the whole gaming industry for the past 3 or 4 years. It's led to massive layoffs in the gaming industry. For the past 2 or so years, it seems that we can't go a single month without there being layoffs. And even if your game does end up being successful, you're still not guaranteed to keep your job. Battlefield 6 has been the perfect example of this. The game released to not only outsell Call of Duty for the first time, but to also be the top selling game in 3 years, and guess what happened? They couldn't keep up with the community's demands, and just 6 months after the game released, EA announced that they were laying off devs from all of Battlefield's studios. No one is safe in the industry at the moment, and it's honestly insane. So if people aren't playing Battle Royale anymore, what are they playing, you might be thinking? Well, as you can see in this graph here, people are going away from pretty much all of the Battle Royale games that we're seeing, and they're going to games like arena shooters like Marvel Rivals and Counter-Strike, rising in playtime massively. And I hope that means that the big companies will go back to what they're known for and stop trying to push the live service on everyone. Let's go back to what make the gaming industry good. And the people are showing what they want with playtime in sandbox and adventure games going up. I really do think PlayStation has already realized this, and hopefully if they have success going back to what made them good, then it'll also push the rest of the industry to do the same. The thing is, even if we do start seeing these companies go back to what made them good, it's likely we won't see the effects of this anytime soon. Most of them would already have live service games in production, so any shift from here probably won't be seen for another 3 to 4 years at the very least. Regardless, I just hope that we do see it happen eventually, because we clearly need a change in direction from the way things have been going. I hope we don't see gaming companies try to continue to follow trends and just try their own thing. Well, we're almost seeing a repeat of this exact thing happening right now, which it's seeming like they're all starting to try and shift themselves to extraction shooters. And I get it that they think they might be the next big thing, but I just don't really see it. To me, it feels like Arc Raiders was a bit of an anomaly, and I can't really see an extraction shooter breaking into the mainstream like that. Especially after seeing Marathon not exactly lighting the world on fire with its sales numbers. Strangely enough, and believe me, I'll be the first to criticize Xbox and Microsoft, but they seem to be the only ones in terms of the big companies anyway that just aren't chasing trends. They seem to be at least trying to put out story games and ones that people actually want, with a new Fable being the perfect example of that. That's not to say that the other choices that they made have been good, because we all know how Xbox is going, but I think in terms of chasing trends, they haven't done that, and I hope we see more of it from all the other big gaming companies as well. So now what do I think is going to happen from here on? Well, I think we're going to continue to see this downtrend in Battle Royale, and I think it'll keep dropping at an accelerated pace until eventually we see most of them shut down. And then I think we'll start seeing layoffs to the major players in the genre like Fortnite and Apex Legends until eventually there aren't many Battle Royales left at all. I personally think Fortnite and maybe Apex could be the only ones to survive, but albeit with much lower player numbers than they're certainly used to at this point, I really can't see any Battle Royale manage to get his numbers to rise, and I think the trend is over. But anyways, that brings me to the end of the video. Let me know in the comments what you think will happen to the Battle Royale genre, or do you think this will all blow over? Share this video with your friends if you enjoyed it, and follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys on the next video.